Good morning all. Today we are going to study the topic cooling in electrical machines and some important ratings which are associated with the electrical machines, that is short time rating, overload capacity and hotspot rating. All these things we will be studying in today's session. In our last class we have studied about heating in electrical machines. We also have derived the relation for temperature rise at any time t, that is theta is equal to theta m into 1 minus e raised to minus t by tau h plus theta I e raised to minus t by tau h. All of you must by heart this relation to solve the problems associated with it. Let's see the machine under cooling first. Just like how you have derived the temperature rise at any time t during heating, the same derivation steps can be followed for machine under cooling also. Following the same steps, you will be obtaining the relation when the machine is under cooling, that is theta is equal to theta n into 1 minus e raised to minus t by tau c plus theta I e raised to minus t by tau c. You are already familiar with these terms. The term theta n and tau c is already defined in the last class. Theta n is final steady temperature rise while cooling and tau c is actually the cooling time constant. Theta n is very much similar to the term theta m, only difference is theta m is the term used while heating and theta n is the term used when the machine is in cooling. Similarly, if you are looking, tau c is also similar to tau h. Tau h is the term which is being used when the machine is under heating and tau c is the term which is being used when the machine is under cooling. Consider a continuous running machine is being switched off. Definitely when the machine is being switched off, the machine begins to start cooling. Typically a machine under turned off condition does not produce any heat. So if the machine is in shutdown position for some time, then the temperature of the machine will be same as that of the ambient medium's temperature. In such a condition, the value of theta n will become 0. Theta n is actually the final steady state temperature rise over the ambient medium during cooling condition. So when the machine remains in shutdown position for some period of time, the temperature of machine is same as that of the ambient temperature. So in such a case, the magnitude of theta n will be 0. So if you are looking this relation, if the magnitude of theta n is 0 in this, then this relation gets modified into this form, that is theta is equal to theta I e raised to minus t by tau c. Next we have to study the definition of cooling time constant. It is similar to that of a heating time constant which we have already studied during heating of electrical machine. For obtaining the definition of cooling time constant, in this relation you will be substituting t with tau c. So if you are putting t is equal to tau c, then the relation gets modified into this form, that is theta is equal to theta I e raised to minus 1, that is theta is equal to 0.368 theta I. From this relation it's clear that the temperature rise time curve will be an exponentially decaying one and the same is being plotted here. So from this relation you will be able to see in this graph, that is at time t is equal to tau c, the temperature rise is 0.368 times that of the initial value. Initial value will be the one which is being indicated here, that is this one is theta I, and when t is equal to tc, the magnitude becomes 0.368 times that of the theta I. So here you will be able to define the cooling time constant as the time taken by the machine for its temperature to fall from initial value to 0.368 times that of its initial value. Initial value is indicated as theta I, that is initial temperature rise over the ambient medium. So now you are familiar with two time constants. One is heating time constant and the other one is cooling time constant. Heating time constant is indicated as tau h, cooling time constant is indicated as tau c. Usually the magnitude of tau c is greater than that of the tau h. It is mainly due to the poor ventilation conditions. So you must thorough with the definition of tau c, tau h and the relation between tau c and tau h. As I have just mentioned, the magnitude of tau c is always greater than that of the magnitude of tau h. Next we are going to deal with problems on heating and cooling of electrical machines. Here we will be using all the relations which we have studied so far in heating as well as cooling of electrical machines. All of you must note down these problems. For the first three problems, I will be just mentioning the steps. You have to follow it and you have to write it down in your notebooks, and then you have to calculate it by yourselves and you have to find the answer. For the fourth question, detailed steps has been given in the next slide. Let's look one by one. Let's see the first problem. The first problem, a DC motor has total losses of 7000 watts at full load. Total heat dissipation from the surface equals 300 watts per degree Celsius. Calculate maximum temperature rise. So the question here is to calculate the value of theta m. You are very familiar with the relation theta m is equal to Q by S lambda. The value of Q is given in the question itself, but the value of S and lambda is not given separately. Instead, the product value is given here, that is S lambda's value is given here. You know the unit for lambda is actually specific heat of dissipation and its unit is actually watts per meter square degree Celsius. So when lambda is being multiplied with S is actually the surface area and its unit is meter square. So when lambda is being multiplied with S, then lambda into S will be having the unit of watts per degree Celsius. So the term which is given here is actually the total heat dissipation from the surface, that is S lambda's magnitude is given here. You have to look into the unit also, then only you will be able to identify what it is actually given. So you know the value of Q, you know the value of S lambda, so you have to just simply divide it and you can easily find out the answer. That was a direct problem. Let's see the second problem. In this problem, a DC motor has a finite steady temperature rise of 80 degrees Celsius on continuous rating and a heating time constant of 75 minutes. Estimate at this load the temperature rise after 1 hour. In this problem also, the magnitude of theta m is given, tau h magnitude is also given, and you are asked to find the temperature rise, that is the magnitude of theta when t is equal to 1 hour. 1 hour corresponds to 60 minutes. So you can use the standard relation theta is equal to theta m into 1 minus e raised to minus t by tau h. Nothing is mentioned about the initial condition, so you can consider it as a cold start. So while considering it as a cold start, the magnitude of theta I will be equal to 0. So substituting the value of theta m, tau h and t in the relation theta is equal to theta m into 1 minus e raised to minus t by tau h, you will be getting the value of theta. Let's see the next problem. In this problem, the field coils of a DC machine are excited with 2.5 ampere at 230 volt. The weight of copper in the coil is 50 kilogram. Estimate the rate at which the temperature will begin to rise when the coils are excited from cold condition. It's clearly mentioned that the coils are being excited from cold condition. Even specific heat is also given. Specific heat is given in 0.1 calorie per gram per degree Celsius. But in SI system we will be writing specific heat in joule per kilogram per degree Celsius. So definitely you have to convert this into joule per kilogram per degree Celsius. In this problem it is asked to find the rate. It's not asked to find the temperature rise after a particular time. It's being asked the rate at which the temperature will begin to rise. the rate of temperature rise can be represented as d theta by dt. So from the standard relation theta is equal to theta m into 1 minus e raised to minus t by tau h, you have to derive the relation for d theta by dt. And in that relation you have to substitute the value of t as 0, because it's clearly asked the rate at which temperature will begin to rise. Okay, so the temperature will begin to rise at time t is equal to 0. So you have to find the value of d theta by dt at time t is equal to 0. So you can obtain the relation for d theta by dt at time t is equal to 0 from the standard relation theta is equal to theta m into 1 minus e raised to minus t by tau h. On solving it, you will be getting d theta by dt is equal to theta m by tau h. So the numerator term is theta m and the denominator term is tau h. The numerator term theta m can be easily calculated from the standard relation theta m is equal to q by s lambda, and tau h also can be calculated from the standard relation tau h is equal to gh by s lambda. So instead of theta m and tau h, if you substitute this terms, that is theta m is equal to q by s lambda and tau h is equal to gh by s lambda, both the s lambda terms will get cancelled, and finally you will be getting the relation d theta by dt is equal to q by gh. The value of g is given in the question, h is also given, and q can be calculated from the product of these two terms. Then after making the substitution of q, g and h, you will be getting the value of d theta by dt at t is equal to 0. Hopefully it's clear for you. All of you must write it down in a paper following the steps which I have told here, and then you have to calculate it, then only you will be getting the final answer. Next question. The temperature rise of a transformer is 25 degrees Celsius after 1 hour and 37.5 degrees Celsius after 2 hours of starting from cold condition. Calculate the final steady temperature rise and heating time constant. So it's being asked to find the magnitude of theta m and tau h. Then next, if its temperature falls from final steady value to 40 degrees Celsius in 2.5 hour when disconnected, that is the condition of cooling, calculate the cooling time constant. So in this problem, you have to deal with both heating condition and cooling condition. So you must be familiarized with the relations during both heating and cooling. Then only you will be able to solve this problem. Let's tackle with the heating condition first. In the heating condition, it's asked to find the magnitude of theta m and tau h. So let's see. This is the standard relation because it's very clearly given that the machine is having a cold start. So after 1 hour, the temperature rise is 25 degrees Celsius. So T is equal to 1, and after 2 hours, the temperature rise is 37.5 degrees Celsius. Then we will be dividing this relation. Thereafter, for e raised to minus 1 by tau h, we will be substituting it as x. And then solving this relation, we will be getting a quadratic equation x. Further solving this quadratic equation, we will be getting two terms for x, that is 1 and half. X is actually e raised to minus 1 by tau h. So definitely x is equal to 1 is not practical, because the natural log of 1 will become 0. So the only term which is possible is x is equal to half. So e raised to minus 1 by tau h is equal to half. From that you will be able to get the relation minus 1 by tau h is equal to natural log of half. From there you will be getting the heating time constant tau h magnitude. Once after getting the value of tau h, you can substitute here in either of this relation and you will be able to obtain the magnitude of theta m. That is actually 49.99 degrees Celsius. In the same machine, now you know the machine was running continuously and its final steady state temperature rise is 49.99 degrees Celsius. It's running continuously for a longer duration. So now the temperature of the machine is a final steady state temperature, that is 49.99 degrees Celsius. Definitely its final steady state temperature rise over the ambient medium. So now you are going to start cooling the machine from this point. So definitely the initial temperature rise over the ambient medium of this machine at this particular instant will be 49.99 degrees Celsius. That is, the magnitude of theta I is same as that of the theta m which you have obtained from heating condition, that is theta I is equal to 49.99 degrees Celsius. If nothing is mentioned in the question, then you can consider the machine is being in shutdown position for a longer period of time. So in that case you can easily neglect the term theta n. So you are going to find the value of tau c. So theta is actually the temperature rise over the ambient medium, and its magnitude is given as 40, and the ambient medium's temperature is also given as 30. So definitely the magnitude of theta will be the difference between these two, that is 40 minus 30. Magnitude of theta I we know, that is 49.99. I am taking it as 50 here, and it is being disconnected for the last 2.5 hours. So definitely the time t will be 2.5 hours. So after making the substitution from here, you will be able to find the value of tau c, which is same as that of 1.55 hour. Next we are going to study about short time rating. Basically there are different types of duty as per the IS specifications for rotating machines. There is continuous duty, short duty, intermittent, and there are different types of intermittent duties etc. So let's look here about short time duty. In short time duty, the machine is being operated for a constant load for a particular time, which is then followed by a long period of rest. That is, the machine will be loaded only for a short period of time. To what extent the machine will be getting loaded and all, we will be studying it. You just need to know that the machine will be loaded for a short period of time, and then there is a long time of rest, that you will be able to see in this diagram also. See, in this graph it's very clearly represented that the machine is being loaded only for a very short period of time. Thereafter there is a long period of rest. Since the time period at which the load is being applied is very small, the temperature can't rise to the final steady state temperature rise theta m, which we have already explained. Examples of such types of loads are a railway turntable and navigation log gates. Railway turntable is actually the device which is used to turn the locomotives, and this navigation log is a device used for raising and lowering the boats in different levels of canals or rivers. You don't have to study that in detail, you just need to know the examples for it. So short time duty is clearly explained now. Now we need to know the definition of short time rating. This short time rating is actually the output at which the machine is being operated for this specified period without exceeding the temperature beyond the permissible limit value. So this short time rating indicates the output rating at which the machine is being loaded, that too for a very short period of time without allowing the temperature rise to go beyond the permissible limit. Now let's see in short time rating what can be the output rating, or to what extent the machine can be loaded, whether it has to be underloaded or overloaded. That will be clearly understood from this derivation. So the terms used for derivation are given here. Theta m, you are familiar with it. Tau h is also familiar for you. Th is actually the time for which machine is run at short time rating. Theta sh is the temperature rise with short time rating, that is for this time period, what is the temperature rise is given by theta sh. Suppose if the machine was running continuously with the same loading which you have provided for this short time duty, then its final temperature will be indicated as theta m dash. So theta m dash is actually the final steady temperature rise that would be attained if the machine were allowed to run for continuously at its short time rating. Now from the temperature rise relation, we know that theta is equal to theta m into 1 minus e raised to minus t by tau h. So we will try to put this relation into the shoes of short time rating. Then you will be getting the relation like this, theta sh is equal to theta m dash, that is the final steady state temperature rise when the machine is loaded with short time rating. So then you will be getting the relation theta sh is equal to theta m dash, and at this relation or this short time rating, the time period is actually th. It's very clearly given here, so you have to replace this t with th. From the temperature rise relation, we very well know that the maximum value which is possible for this theta sh is theta m. In the definition of short time rating, it's very clearly mentioned that the temperature is not allowed to rise beyond the permissible limit. The permissible limit is actually the theta m. So in this case, if you are seeing this relation, the maximum value of theta sh which can be is theta m, or the maximum value of theta sh is theta m. So substituting instead of theta sh in this relation as theta m, you will be getting this relation as theta m is equal to theta m dash into 1 minus e raised to minus t by tau h. From this relation, you will be getting theta m dash by theta m is equal to 1 by 1 minus e raised to minus th by tau h. So from this relation, it's very clear that the ratio's magnitude is definitely greater than that of 1, which points to the fact that the output of the machine with short time rating is definitely greater than that of the machine with continuous time rating. You must be very clear with this point. That is, whenever the machine is being loaded for a very short period, you can load the machine with a rating which is greater than that of its continuous rating. In short, I can say that the machine can be overloaded during this short period of time. Even if the machine is being overloaded for this short period of time, the temperature is not going to rise beyond the permissible limit. So in the short time rating is the definition is already explained. In the short time rating definition, the output at which it may be operated is definitely greater than that of its continuous rating. In this characteristics, if you are observing, definitely the continuous rating will be somewhere over here, and it will be running for the infinite duration of time. But this short time rating is definitely, it is greater than that of the continuous rating which I have represented here by using this cursor. So in short time rating, we have told that the machine can be overloaded for a very short period of time. Now we are going to study about the overload capacity of these machines. For different machines, there are different constraining measures or constraining features for overloading it. In DC machines, the overload capacity is being determined by the commutation, whereas in synchronous and induction machines, it is being determined by the electromagnetic torques. Overload capacity of different machines can be identified from their torque overload coefficients. This torque overload coefficient is actually a coefficient used to determine the permissible instantaneous overload torque If you look into this table, it clearly shows the different types of motors in this column and their torque overload coefficient. That is, the DC motors can be loaded or overloaded up to 2 times of its continuous rating, whereas in the case of squirrel cage induction motor it can be loaded up to 2.5 times. Double cage induction motor can be loaded up to 3 times, etc. Next we are going to study about hot spot rating. Usually this short time rating and overload capacity has been asked in the previous year question papers for 5 marks. So now let's see hot spot rating. Generally the losses in electrical machine occurs inside iron cores and windings. These losses which are produced inside is dissipated to surface from where it is being taken by the cooling medium or various ventilation systems. Mainly this hot spot temperature or hot spot rating is determined so as to avoid the injuries for the insulating materials. Hot spot is actually a place where the local temperature is at its highest. These insulating materials are mainly subjected to this hot spot temperature. Hot spot temperature comprises of 3 components. One is theta insulation, theta S and theta C. Theta insulation is actually the temperature gradient across the slot insulation. Mainly the slot insulation is provided with paper insulation. Theta S is actually the temperature rise of cooling surface above that of cooling medium. And theta C is temperature rise of cooling medium over the ambient temperature. See, the difference between theta S and theta C is in theta S it is actually the temperature rise of cooling surface, whereas in theta C it's actually the temperature rise of cooling medium. So this hot spot temperature, that is the temperature at the place where the local temperature is the highest. So the relation for hot spot temperature is indicated here. It is actually the sum of these 3 components, theta insulation plus theta S plus theta C. It is clear from this relation that in order to find the hot spot temperature or the hot spot rating, we must identify the magnitudes of theta insulation and theta S and theta C. The magnitude of theta INS, that is theta insulation, is very hard to predetermine. Consider a machine is provided with class B insulation. So from previous experiences one will be able to know for class B insulation what will be the value of theta INS or theta insulation. Generally for class B insulation provided machines, the magnitude of theta insulation is 16 degrees Celsius. Similarly, the magnitude of theta C, it is also taken as 14 degrees Celsius for class B type of insulation if you are using class B type of insulation in a particular type of machine. Consider an example in which the machine can withstand a hot spot temperature of 120 degrees Celsius. So if the hot spot temperature is 120 degrees Celsius and consider, suppose the ambient temperature is 40 degrees Celsius, then definitely the magnitude of theta W, that is actually the hot spot temperature rise over the ambient medium. So the magnitude of theta W will be 120 minus 40, that is it comes to be around 80. And the magnitude of theta insulation is taken as 16 and the magnitude of theta C is taken as 14. So from this you will be able to identify the value of theta S. Theta S will be 80 minus 16 minus 14, that is 50 degrees Celsius. You can also calculate the magnitude of theta S by using the relation theta S is equal to QC by S, where Q is actually the power loss, C is the specific heat and S is the surface area in meter square. So So we have calculated theta s from this relation and it is found to be 50 degrees Celsius, and we can also calculate theta s by using this relation. And if the theta is calculated by using this relation, magnitude is lesser than that of the theta s which is being calculated here, that is 50 degrees Celsius, then we can confirm that the insulating materials are not subjected to temperature beyond the permissible limits. So all these three ratings are quite important: hotspot rating, overload capacity, and short time rating. Any one of this seems to be usually asked in your university question papers. So you must understand this thoroughly, and you must learn these relations also along with it. In the next class we will study about the magnetic circuits. Thank you.